Hello again, this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video number 87. In this video, I want to talk about the PHP mail function that PHP uses. It allows you to send emails directly from a script, which this is what I'm showing you here. I created an email address on my account that will forward to other email addresses once it's set up. But for now, I will show you that when I hit the subscribe, it's going to send an email, and plus it's going to write to a database. Now, a matter of fact, this is what it looks like. Remember this? This is the actual website that I've created, and you've been seeing it throughout all these other videos. Remember, this is created using it dynamically. And of course, this is just, embedded. I didn't have to do anything except for this one. This is using PHP. This is the actual file. I also added the nouns form, and the reason why I did that is because when you create the function here, you're not doing anything with it, but when you create the actual form, remember this one, this is the actual the pagination website page, or should I say, right? Same thing. It's the same thing. I'm going to put it in the description. I'm going to call this PHP email, but I'm going to put it in as the TXT extension. Plus, of course, I'll leave it as a PHP. If you can get it, if you're having a hard time getting the PHP part, just use the TXT, download it to your box, and of course, change the extension to PHP. Okay. But this is the actual thing. First, what I did was I added this PHP nouns. That's like for security. You're going to use this for security. This is like to give you extra security. You can call it anything. I said token. I just kind of did this for this course. But I normally put something that's that nobody could, what you would call it, guess. Because right now we're going to make it into a hash. You can make this into, you could say the dollar token equals, and you can kind of say, I met you under the New York City bridge. And right, you could do that. Nobody's gonna ever. It will take years. It will take like about 100 years for them to guess what your password would be, or use it as a token, which I'm using right here. Just making it easy. That's all. I kind of called it this. Doesn't matter. See, get it? Get form. I just kind of gave it any stupid. And what happens is you're going to use the password hash function right here, which creates the encryption. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that real quick, because I wasn't going to talk about this because I really want to talk about is the email part, but I'm going to show you anyway. So that way, just in case I did miss it in the other videos that I created before. Let's see. Why is this thing cutting it off on me? Why is this? How's this thing work, man? I don't know. This is such a weird way of... How about if I do this? Let's change to can you see this? Is it too small for you? Well, anyway, we're going to do this, right? This is the actual file. I'm going to go slowly just in case you want it, but I'm going to put it in the description so you can download it. But I'll do it just like this anyway for now. Right? You remember the link for a CSS? I embedded them using the styles instead. These are the rules, right? This is what gives you that look website. Let's go down the line. Let's go slowly, not too slowly, because I mean you're gonna see this so many times already. But I added some stuff to make this look better. I even put a background image if you wanted to, but I don't have it. If I had it, you kind of will see it in the background. I just put it there just in case. Anyway, you keep going down the line and it stops here. This is the head. The head is what controls, has all these things. Then I created another one called the header. This is such a weird way. Anyway, you got your body, then I created a separate header, and this is what gives you this here, this whole black on background thing with the dynamic menu options. So it's from here to, as you can see, look, I dynamic menu function section, which is here. Remember I showed you how it reads this, blah blah blah. This right here gives you these little icons. And let's go slowly up, because I know you've seen this before, but I'm going to give it to you right now, which is this, number 6, meaning that I just want to see all of this. 0 to 6 is actually 7 options. Because remember, it's in an array, it's 0 index, so it starts with 0. So if you see 6 here, that means it's actually 7 items. And for the footer, I put 5 because I didn't want to see this other option here that says footer color. Why would I? I'm already in the footer, right? Anyway, so what I did was I created this for a subscription. You can add it to your template. Remember the border with the color ones? And you can add this as part of the, because a website you usually want, it depends on what you're doing. You might want to get people's emails. You just have to come up with some, a value proposition, which is, hey, if you give me this, if you subscribe, I'll give you 10% discount, whatever it is that you want. I agree for Kyle, and I was using this for a catering business, so I kind of took that piece, put it in here that I did for. It's still under development because I'm still waiting on the guy. Anyway, that's what that is. So it keeps going down the line. I don't know. I think it's just too small. I'm gonna have to go back to my normal. This right here. Okay, good. So it's the same thing, right? Blah blah blah. Let's go back. Let's go down the line. This is the actual menu. Blah blah booty. And oops, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Here's your starts over here. Look, start your subscription section, and you end it right here. Of course, you got your photo stuff. And as you can see, it's just like anything else. It's a form. See, and the action. That's the name of the secure form. You're gonna send this information to this script, which happens to be. Do I have it? Oh, yes, I do. Right here. See? That happens to be this right here. Okay. Look, I'm using the get nouns. See, it's gonna do this whole thing for you. What it's doing is gonna check, see if there's anything weird. It sanitizes it, filters out stuff. You know what I mean? That's what this is. Let's get back to that. Alright, so you got your form, you got this, you got your message and post. It's going to be, when you do that, it sends it over as an array, and you pull out. Now, this, you don't need this to tell the truth, but if you're going to like upload files and stuff from your local machine, then you put this information for multi-part form data. But right now, it's not hurting anything. You can leave it. This is your name. This is your email, and this is the announce. Remember the announce I was talking about? See how it has this here? See this? It's calling that form, that function from here. It's calling this, and this is already hashed it, right? It's calling it. It runs that hash, and then it puts it in the value. See, this is the value that shows, but look, it's hidden. You don't see it. As you can see, where is it? Where is it? I don't see it. Well, if you go like right click and go to view page source, you'll see it down here. Let's see, let me see, where are you? There it goes. See this right here? This is the, see where it says value equal and has all these crazy stuff. This is what got hashed. Now when I hit the submit button, I mean the subscribe button, which is all submits, that's all it is. Look, it's all submit. It's a submit type, right? This is for the, I'm sorry, take that back. It's not that one. Where is it? Right here, the submit type. This one is also a submit type. This right here to go back out to the beginning of the form. That's what that is. I'll put it there for you. You've seen it before. This is your submit. That's the name that you're giving it because PHP is going to read this, right? This classes, this comes from Bootstrap. It just gives you that look, that nice little look, right? With little buttons. You can do different types of buttons. You can do all kinds of stuff. This is a class, meaning go back. That's all it is. This class sits here somewhere. There it goes. Back to menu. And always telling you that it was the font should be 1.1 and it's important. If you don't, sometimes you have to do important because somehow you go, wait a minute, I wanted 1.1 and it shows small. It's because somehow another CSS rule, it took action. Is being used over this rule, but if you say important, it'll take this rule and do that over the other one, the older rule. That's why I did that. So it gives me this, right? This is the form itself. So when you do that, where is it? Where's the form? Right here. This is the form right here. This is the form right here. Once you submit it, right, it's going to call this guy with this information. Now remember how we got that this over here? It's because you ran PHP, you embedded it within the HTML, and you ran that form, that function, and then that function did the work, right? Did the work, hashed it, and then returned it. That's why you see this information. All right, that's what that is. And I'm gonna put this all there. You can look at it, take your time. You know something, when you download it and put it in your editor, look at it, see what it looks. You say, oh man, this is the stuff that this guy's been saying there. Yo, I'm not even paying money. He's giving me valuable stuff because I prefer to do things for free. You know, guys believe that if it'll come to me, my reward, when God gives it to me. That's all. It's not a religious video or nothing like that. Just truly believe that when you do good things, it comes back to you 100-fold. Anyway, so we're here, right? So now it's gonna call this file. Now, on one section, I'm going to show you. It's going to call this file, right? Remember how we saw here under the form? We're going to go back to the form. See, we back to the form. And what did I call it? Where is it? I'm looking at here. This is the subscribe button right here. Submit sub. This is the name. This is what PHP uses. Not the class, not the idea. You can call those kind of things, doing it differently when you do the echo, but right now it's using this. This is what's being sent with the information that's in here. Same thing, look, name, get, nouns, form, sub, name, email, sub name. Calls this guy up. You see, look, submit sub. You saw that. It said, hey, Remember, when you hit it, it says, oh, look, it was set. Yeah, fine. So let's keep going. Then this is the actual name of the file. I just put that there. Say, hey, is this the name of the file? Is this the file that you're calling? If it ain't, then you go like this, and it takes you out. Where is it? Man, this thing got huge. Right here, see? Right here, it goes to here. Else, if it ain't that, it says you are not allowed to access this site. And then JavaScript will give you, you are not allowed to access this site, and then you just have to say root, and then give it the name of the, matter of fact, what's the name of this thing? Just in case, this is the name of the file that we're calling. No, this is the name right here. This is the name of the file. Let's see what it's called. It's called email form. So what we do is we go here. It's just a security thing. Call it this guy. Get it? In other words, if I somehow ended up calling, let's say you know how the internet is all connected, but somehow somebody was able to get this and then they put it under here, the actual script. You don't want people to do. You want people to go to the actual form that's actually calling this script. So you put this information. So is it there? It never saw it. That's why it will skip that whole thing. The same thing with this. If it let's say it was called from this guy, but somehow it got intersected, then I want to check to see if that's the name. And that's what that gave me. If not, then let's see. Let's go. And if it's not, the reason why I did that is because I want to see it when it, like over here, you got so much FF, you got so many brackets. I want to see what's the end bracket for that particular set. I'm looking for it. I found it already. You see it. Does anybody even see it? Where is it? There it goes, right here. If it's not, then say you're not allowed, then you get this little box, right? And you just say yes, and then it takes you right back. So the name of the file that I'm actually looking at is email form. So I'm going to go to email form, back to the form itself. So we say email form. This. Oh, sorry, wrong place. Yeah, leave it there too. Let's comment it out anyway. Email form. Like that. See? Save it. You see that? I saved it, okay? That's what that is. It calls that guy, and then what he does, he calls and says, oh, let me run this. I want you to run this for me. The reason why I did that is because I want to have it separate. If you don't, a lot of this stuff can be done separately, like you saw in the actual, what was it, study border or the CRUD border, color one, everything was put together in pieces. Like I took this part and all the way up to the end part and made it into a separate file, and I used the include function. Remember, I did that, and so please include this, and it just includes the different section. But in this case, I just kind of left it all in one file. But you can do that. You can do a lot of things. So what happens is, in this particular case, I didn't want to include this one. What happens to be this one right here. And what that does is checks to see if you are secure. If you are, then puts secure into the link and it assigns it to this variable. And if not, then it assigns it this way. No big deal. So that when you get down here, then that equals means please add this to the back of these things here, which will be assigned to this variable, which is what you see here. And then, of course, you do the same thing. You assign the pieces of it, the domain name. This one is the request of the URL. What I'll do is probably create a video just so I can concentrate on some of these things here. Now, during the whole course, you'll see it like in between. I don't know when, or I don't know if it was 18, 19, or in the 20s. I talked about this piece here, but I'll do it again, just a refresher of why I'm using it. See, I'm using it because I want to use these things, because over here you're going to be able to use it down here somewhere. See how that nouns now, you say, well, you check the nouns up here. You checked, remember that this particular, you see it anywhere? What is it? Where the hell did I put it? What's the form? Oh. See this right here? Let's just check it, because remember, even though it's hidden, you don't see it. The moment you hit the subscribe, it's going to send it to this guy, and that's what this guy is doing. It's just checking to say, hey, is this array exist? Is this key? That's a key. Does it exist? Which is this name, right? This is the name we gave it. And if it exists, and if it didn't exist, let's go down to the ending of the, it's probably way down. Oh, here it goes, right here. And then if it didn't exist, it says, oh, you have a problem with the encryption, and then get the hell out. In fact, I should put the name over here. The actual, what is it? Email form. And this is, first of all, it'll do this, and otherwise it'll do this for you real quick. It depends which one you want. I'll just do this, 1, 2, 3. And I'll put it down just in case, because when you do this, if this happens so fast that the next command, boom, it sends you over to the next page. Remember this? This is the stuff that I'm talking about. The path, the actual path. And this is what this creates. See? That's why I did all these things. So anyway, it goes fast, but if you want to see the dialog box, that little box that says you have a problem, and you hit OK, and then it takes you straight to the form, to this form. Otherwise, if you didn't comment this out, you're not going to see this, because it happens quick, and then you're going to see this instead. So that's why I commented out. You work with, first concentrate on doing it like this, and say, okay, I'm going to comment this out, and then use this, and you can see what's the difference. Alright, let's just change this. Make sure it's spelled the right way too. The small form F and the big F is two different things. Alright, let's see. So it does this thing, it checks, blah, 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 blah. That's what that is. Why don't I just put email form? Same thing here. It'll go fast. I just did that because I wanted to show 5. The little numbers that will get on the side. Maybe I'll just comment the other one so you can see what I'm talking about. That's a number 5. Let's take this out. I didn't do that. Alright, so let's see. Does it have another one? Oh, yes. My God. I should have fixed this up before. You know what? Otherwise, it'll go to my website. That's why, convert to WordPress.com. So let's just fix this and go back to it. So if something doesn't work, then we'll go back to here. I don't want to waste time, man. That's what it is. Okay, let's see what we got. We got more. Alright, right here. Oh my God. I should have did this before. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm telling you, programming is no joke. I mean, once you get to know it, like really get to know it, it'll be like, wow. But it is hard, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. And thank God for the different resources that we can use to look for, your answer to any question that you might have. Because you might be having a problem. Let's see. Do we have? Okay. Let's do. Oops. Email.form. fine. Let's go see if there's more. Okay, that's fixed. That's because I was doing I was testing it out earlier. Form. Let's go to the next one. I know we're not using it, but let's just do. Oh my God, we got a flying bug. All right, let's see. Okay, that's what that is. So basically, I'll do that now. In reality, right? This is great. You did this. This you definitely need because it's looking to see if it actually you did hit this, and it checks. If this is run without this, somehow it got there, or you didn't. You ended up coming here instead. Like in other words, whatever the name is. What was the name of that? Let's see. Let's say you type this out. Sorry. Okay, see, if you ran this instead, it's gonna look. It's gonna search for this. You're gonna say, wait a minute. Where's the submission? Where? So it's not gonna work, and you're gonna get an error. It says it did work, and now it says, oh look, somehow it got intercepted somehow. Hey, is this actual file? Is this the name of it? Let's say if this was a different name, it'll give you, I'm sorry, you're not allowed. But make sure you do that. You don't really need to do that, but I just like doing this little extra stuff. And then you got the announce, right? Like that security thing right here. When you hit it, where is it? And you send this out. And if it doesn't see this, that's just another way. It's like another catch you. Just say, oh, hold on, pass this, and then you, oh, wait a minute, where is it? And if it found it, that means that you actually got it from the form when you hit this thing. Then okay, and everything worked out here, worked out there. Then it'll open up your database, right? Because you want to open it up to get ready, because you're going to add stuff to it. Now the database itself, and then we'd like to show the stuff because I don't want the credential to be there. So before we do that, I want you to go down the line. See, it comes here. This is the stuff that comes from the form. This is the ones that verify. This is how it verifies. When you send this information, it's going to go, well, that information, which happens to be here. Remember that one? You got it here, and you got it here. Remember, this becomes a hash. It hashes it out for you, which looks like this. Because it's going through the net, right? So it has to be encrypted. Then when you get to the other end, then you check it. So it looks for the stuff that you sent. And then say, I want you to verify this particular thing here, which is the actual variable, which I happen to be here, with this one, with this variable. So if it sees that this one is the same as the one you sent, which happens to be here, then that means it's okay. That looks good. Let's keep going. If it's not, there's a problem, then what happens is you get that message that you say, sorry, you got a problem with encryption. If you kind of go like this, 1, 2, 3, of course you'll see it. And if you leave this one out like this, you're not going to see it because it's going to go straight to doing this instead. Same thing, but you're not going to have that little box. It's just going to go straight with this arrow 5. It's going to end up being like right here, arrow 5. And then this particular script will probably read this and give you an error, right? Like you kind of put the arrow here or right here. But I didn't do that. I'm just getting it ready for you guys. That's all it is. Anyway, so it runs the connection. This is my connection from that file, right? The one that's in here, which I'm not going to show you, open up. What I'll do is I'll show you one doesn't have my credential, just a fake one, so you can see it. But I'll put it in the description. You can use that for the other video stuff too. So we'll do that, right? So it calls this and so yes, it's connected, blah blah blah. It looks great, it worked, thank you. And now it keeps going. Then it keeps going down the line. And if you, oh, by the way, if you had a problem, this is the same. If you have a problem, oh, that's how we talked about this. This is okay. So what happens? It goes like this. It looks good. Now it goes down the line, and now it takes all that information from here to here, and of course you're going down, and that's what this is. Some name and the email address. These guys, I commented out because you can create more like for username, first name and last name. But I just left it in there because this is what I was using, and also for sanitize the URLs. Didn't take it out. Well, I can always put it back in there. Anyway, it goes down the line. It says, "Oh, this is submit." Yeah, it did. It was submit. Remember you saw this already over here. Get it? I'm just doing different layers of, just in case. And the reason why I do these kind of things is because in the old days when we were working like the internet, which was going to be a fourth broker, was a New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and what's the other one? The American Stock Exchange, right? This was Internet, the company that was going to be, was great. We were a brokerage, right? And what they did was that you buy stocks through them. Somebody sells it and somebody buys it, but nobody knows who did. It was anonymous, you know what I mean? That was the secret that Internet did. We ended up in newspapers, magazines. We did great, man. That became a huge thing. Anyway, so what happens is we used to have, we used to use Sybase, we used to use Oracle, we used to use even other databases. And what happens when you're doing the work and stuff like that, sometimes you get these glitches. You'd be like looking at the thing, the application on the screens. It was like thousands. It looked like NASA. Let's put it that way. And it was great. And you look at it, people look because before the stock exchange opens, you see VPs, you see directors. They're standing right on top of you, making sure things work, and we're the ones controlling the whole thing. And we used to do the programming too. We would do the testing and all that. They were there. It got you nervous, but hey, that's okay. That's why we were getting the six figures. Anyway, the point is, we used to get these glitches. It's like all computers in the scripts are one line after another line after another line. It does something, it keeps going on, and that's how it works, right? But sometimes you get the glitch in the system that somehow it skipped over a line. It skipped over a line and then of code, and then we'd be doing that. So wait a minute, this looks kind of strange. Why didn't it get stopped? Why did it continue on when we gave it a condition? And that's what happens. That's why I put different types of stuff. Like, see this right here? I already saw that. I already have it up here. But I put it in there again. After all of these checking, I put it in there before we do the nitty-gritty, right? The nitty-gritty, that's how it is. Before we do all the important stuff and sending emails and putting in database, I just did it again. Just in case. It's just, yeah, it's like redundant. That's what we did. Because sometimes, and that's why, as you can see here, see how I got double right here? Doesn't cost much, but the machines are fast. You don't need this one, right? But I do double because one time we did something like this. I'm just giving you an example, right? And we're doing this, as for instance, if you're doing this, hey, if this is empty, because this is empty and you hit this, it'll come here and say, sorry, your subscription email name, phone, data, and let me see if it does it. Right here, see, 17. Although I should have put the messages over here. That's why I did the 17. Sorry about that. But that's what it does. It looks at it and it sends you right back to this particular form. Right? So one day we had these, I know that the moment something is wrong, like right now that was wrong, do you want to continue like skipping, this part of the else if, what happens is if you don't have this, let's say somehow you got a glitch here, it'll keep going to the next thing. So what happens is we say, no, I want it stopped. If it's empty, I want it stopped. I don't want to keep going. That's why I do these double things. And do these little extra stuff. Anyway, let's say everything worked out good. It says, let's say you put in your name and you have like spaces behind it. This will trim it for you, right? This will trim it for you. And then of course, if you have a problem, let's say you put these weird like this, I don't like. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to deal with it. Subscribe like this, and you put the JavaScript stuff. That's what hackers do to break your thing. What happens is it'll go here and say, nope, I want you to replace that with a space, meaning nothing. Take it out. Take it out too. Take it out in case there's something wrong there. Then it strips out anything that's weird. See, look, I even put it on here. All the marks, all the comments on what this does. So the strip tags, right, strips away anything like HTML, XML, PHP tags. Strips it away. So you want to put all these little things just in case, right? So when it comes over here, it says, oh, look, the entities function. You know, sometimes they'll put something like, I don't know, like stuff with equals like this. Let's say I did something like this, cat equals to whatever. You're not supposed to do that. So what happens is it's going to look at this equal sign and it's going to make it into a word. Get it? You can't harm it anyway, and you can't harm your database or anything like that. So you just do this, HTML entity, and what happens is it replaces it. So that way you put it in there, your name is going to have like this weird, cat dude, that will be like your name and the address. And the address part is going to check to see that it's actually an address, an email address. So over here, this is the same idea. Right here, look, I put this in an array, and then I want to match it. And if you see something like, I want you to delete like this, or I want you to update, I want you to insert, or you want to put it over here, this will check it. And of course, that's how you have an SQL illegal insertion, and then it pushes you right back to the form with an error. Of course, that's why I put this here. And of course, I always add these little things here. I already talked about that. Same thing here. When you do the match, right? It's gonna say, "Oh, look, I want you to preg match." It's like it checks a variable against a pattern, just to check for a pattern, right? So if you see like this pattern right here, if it's something complete, like in other words, if I did like, I don't know, something like ND1, 2, 3, it's not gonna give me the error and stuff because I didn't give you. You're just probably gonna get this little stupid thing. What is it, 6? And then I went like, oh, this. What should I do here? Let's do this. Let's see if it would kill it. Let me see. I don't know. Oh, see how it gave me a 6, and of course it would have been an error. You would have seen like an error here, and of course you would know. So you can't do that, right? It has to be letters. It could be lowercase, it could be uppercase, but it has to be letters from A to Z. And the same thing with the email address, right? If the email address you forgot to put in, let's say I kind of went like this, and then you forgot to put in, I don't know, let's say Joey, and then you went dot, I don't know, it's AOL. Then you went like this. 13, see? It says, no, this is 13, there's a problem. You will see this problem, by the way. Pop up real fast. You know what I'm going to do? You can figure that out because I kind of show you that already. I'm just doing that because I wanted to show you this form, but I'm just giving you a little quickie thing there. But you'll see, it didn't work. So the same thing, let's say everything worked out good. I want you to give me the names here. I want you to make it a lowercase because some people do like Andres and the back, and the last name will be like smaller name. I mean smaller letters. You know, like go on. Even I want that be. I want when it goes to the database to be uniform, right? So that's what this does. It makes it to lower, and then it says it takes that first one and makes it upper. So if I went like this, like Anna, L, like that. When it copies into a database, it's gonna make this into a capital. It'll be something like this. That's how it's gonna be entered into the database. Or if you had like this one H, a big one, but this one is small. So why not just make it small and then make the first letters of each name, or even one name, doesn't matter, and make them into caps. Okay, that's what this is. This is it. The end of security done. Now remember, if you had a lot of forms, like a lot of input form, like remember how I showed you in the where it is. Right here, where's the formats? You know, all that stuff that I've been showing you from the pagination and of course the scripts, you can put it all in here. Of course you're gonna take all this crap out. I will show you what the deal is with this stuff. This part here, for some reason my other, I think it's just that I'm gonna show you how to do this the right way anyway. And I have, but for some reason I'm with this old browsers that's just not letting me. It was working at one point, man. I don't know. And let's see, where is it? Where the heck? Okay, right here. See how you got all these things here? All of this, and you got these, and you got those things. Okay. This could be like a whole bunch of. That's not it. Right here, it could be like more, but using a subscription, you just want the name and an email, that's it. Now, this one here will have a whole, right? 1, 2, and 3. And then, of course, this will be more stuff. This is where I got all this stuff from. I just got rid of what I don't need and kept what I needed. And for now, I only need the name and the email address, right? So it keeps going down the line. This is what checks to see that you put the @ sign. It has to be a trace, right? I'm going to show you in a second. And then you keep going down the line. Now here, so you select it, see if it's in there, if you got something there. Like in other words, if I put my name, Andres Rivera, and I have done it before, it's going to read to see, wait a minute, you're there, but you only subscribe. You only want one subscription for each one person. That's all it is. So it checks this for you, right here. And if there's a problem, like an error, it gives you 10. It's the same idea. See, it checks out. But if everything works out good, then you do the insertion, and you search it to a database. Then it emails that person, the person that's it, like you, the person that created the website. You get email, and then I can set it up also to email the person that is actually putting this email. So in other words, if this would be like Jacqueline, and let's give it mine. Because I don't know, I will have to call her up to say, did you check it out? But I'll just check it out. Real quick, I just want to show you. This is the actual script stuff, but I wanted to show you the database itself. See, this is the database. I am using Andrew Subscribe. Right? I'm just using that one. And here it goes. This way. I see I don't have what was it I was going to put in here? Jacqueline and this, right? I don't have it here, as you can see. And of course, once it does that, do I have an email thing here? Let me see, maybe I do. Oh, here it goes. I called the email. By the way, this is Name Hero, right? It's a good company, and this is all this stuff. You can get it from the cPanel. Learn how to do the cPanel. You know something? I'm gonna have a section just to show you the cPanel. The cPanel means it's just that it has all kinds of things that you can do. But anyway, I'll show you when the time comes. Anyway, here's the email address. So this particular file will send it to this email address. See, andres.rivera convert to wordpress.com. Right? See, after you have done this, insert it to the database, which happens to be here. You'll see it here. Right? And then you'll email it. This is the email address that it's using, which I showed you is this one, see? Right here. This is one for something else. Right here. So if you do that, it'll pass it in there, and you can also set up the forward, which I should have done it anyway. I just couldn't wait any longer to show you. Maybe on the next one I'll show you how you do that, how you could forward the email address. But for now, we're going to do that. What happens is it's going to come here, it's going to write this information there. Then you're going to open this here, check email, and it's going to show you. So let's go to the actual, let's go here before we do this and show you here, like right here. This is what we're using right here. This is the one that we require. This is the one that's the email address that you use. This is the one that does the job. So you have your tool, right? The tool is like who's going to get it, right? You're sending it, which I put it here. And I also put it because I'm sending it to 2 places, by the way. So right, that one, the receiver of the mail, about the subject. You got to make sure you put the subject line. And I really did. I did it for you. I kind of put here, what is it? Subject line, subscriber. I just added to database. You know what I mean? And of course, for the person who, let's say Jacqueline, that would have been her email address, she would get something that says, thank you for subscribing, you know what I mean, in her email. And then, so you definitely need that the subject, because it's easier. You should always, when you send an email, always have the subject. It's always easier to find. And then, of course, you got your messages, the one that defines the message to be sent. It said you have to be like 70 characters long when you're using it, but for now we're just doing this. This is the only thing you got. This is what's coming up on the email address, right? Header, and then 16 means that it worked out good. This is the insertion style, right? After you have set all this up, then you send your email. Send the email to the members, and this is how that works. To your subject and your messages, and then you're sending it to the other, person. And that's basically it. So let's do the test. Let's do I did Jacqueline. Did I save this stuff? Let me see. Okay, yeah, there was. I saved it already. Let's try it anyway. Let's go right here, Jacqueline Rivera. Blah blah blah. There we go. 16. Now, that means 16 for me means that it's successful. I should have put it in here. Oh, it's successful, blah, blah, blah. Look, it went back to the form itself. Okay, just did it like that. Otherwise, if this form would have been inside here, and of course you get all this. We're here, right? So let's check. So we did all that crap, right? And so let's go to the email. Here's the thing. Oh, where is it? I don't see it here. Why? Because you have to refresh. There he goes. Andres Rivera and Jacqueline Romero. Look, it copied it to the database. It checked all this stuff and it copied it to the database. And now, what happens if I do this? Try to refresh. It's been sitting there for a while. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to check the email. And there it goes. Right here. I should just. Subscriber was just added to a database. That will be you. Jacqueline will see. What was it? Jacqueline will see. Where is it? Jacqueline, the person will see. Thank you for subscribing to. This is Andre. I could have just made Listen to, I don't know, what should we call this? If it was educator or whatever you are, how about we say crud? What did I call it? We say crud border. How about that? Crud template. How about that? Crud template. Crud template. You could call it whatever you want. Save it, and that's it. That's exactly what it is, man. It's easy stuff. I'll show you how this is done to get this thing to work. I have to get this to work, and then I'll show you the forward thing. Let me see. Does it show right here? This is it right here. What is it? Is this the one? This one does the forward stuff. And I'm afraid to maybe in the next one. I have to look at it first, because if I went back and there's ask credentials and my credential on that dashboard part of it, I don't want to show you guys that, because I'm using an old editor and I don't have the way of, blurring it out. So, but I'll show you. I want to find out first, and if it worked out good, then we'll go right back to this and show you how we can forward. Anyway, that's about it. And I hope you learned something. I mean, if you find any value, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe or comment. See if you think it was too long. I'm trying to make it short, but I talk a lot. It's like you having a lot of times when I'm showing people, they're sitting right next to me. We're doing the testing. We got the board. We talk about it. We go back and forth. It takes a little time. Programming takes time, man. You just have to learn how to do the thing. And once you learn some of this stuff, we'll make it more. I'm going to put all this stuff in the description below, so that way you can get it and have it. Remember, I'm giving it all for free, man. People pay for this whole course. And of course, it won't be me just blabbing the way I'm doing it. just make it more like, as you would get it from a school and stuff like that. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a good night.